Roll call. Mr. Barletta.
Here.
Mr. Bonomo.
Here.
Mr. Chapman.
Here.
Dr. Childs.
Here.
Mrs. DeCosmo.
Here.
Mrs. McBride.
Here.
Mr. Reba.
Participating by phone.
Mr. Szymanski.
Here.
Mr. Zeller.
Here.
Just keep going.
Okay, announcement of executive sessions, May 15th, 2024. Topic was personnel. May 22nd, 2024, also personnel. Student recognition.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. We do, two of our students aren't with us this evening. They're involved in some other situations across the district, Mamma Mia and singing in another program. But we do have Solette Lang with us tonight. If you'd like. I'm glad there are so many people here tonight to be able to witness this, and just thank you so much. I was able to be part of your award ceremony down at Arts and Humanities. She won first place for the Poetry Out Loud competition. You're on your way to nationals, correct? You already did nationals.
Yes, I did.
And?
Saturday didn't win.
Oh, go sit down. Good, no, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to talk about the program? This is for you. And we wanted her to recite the poem, but she wasn't quite ready for it. That's all. We want not to put you on the spot.
But you did.
That's my job.
All right, so the poetry competition that we run is down at the Arts and Humanities building, and it involves every student in the entire building. And our mission is to have students learn poetry and make connections with it in a unique way. We want them to feel the emotion behind the poems, to realize even older poems still have some kind of applicable feelings and connections to the world around us. So she has to memorize 3 different poems of her choice from a website that has over 2,000 poems on it. And there's some regulations and stipulations. One needs to be pre-20th century, and one needs to be 25 lines or less, and the other one needs to be 25 lines or more. Complexity plays a really big role in this, so we have picked much longer poems, and she has done a fantastic job on it. And then after we go to regionals, which is it's at WVIA and televised, it's a really big ordeal. We made it to states. So that was down in Harrisburg, and she got first place in Harrisburg. And then we were able to go to a 1-week competition in Washington, D.C. So that's where we went to nationals, and it was really cool because we had one person from every state and every territory all in the same room together. So it was really cool to see like the entire United States is represented right here. I think the coolest part about it is the fact that, you know, you're used to going to sporting events and it's very much let's beat our competition and let's win this. But this is very uplifting. If you don't win, it's okay. And we have lifelong friendships that I think were formed in the 4 days that were there. So we're really proud of Soulette. I'm very happy that she's been able to do this. Also, some really fantastic things have come out of this because we've run this program now for 6 years and it's been extremely successful. They have asked me to be part of the board of advisors for the PA Council on the Arts and also an arts ambassador for the school district. So what that means is I'm going to be able to attend a bunch of different conferences and meetings and talk about how to better bring arts into education and learn about different programs that are here, grant monies that exist, scholarship monies that they're already offering to us, and really do everything we can to bring it into all of our buildings. So that's our mission.
Thank you.
Nice
say
job.
anything.
Nice job.
And if I can say one thing, Soulette had gone down to Maple Manor, and what occurred from her winning that, the people that were the interventionists at Maple Manor held a poetry program there with the 6th grade that she was involved with, and they were very They were fantastic, and they really looked up to her because she spoke to them. So she has gotten the ball rolling with the children being very interested in it. So I thank you for that. And like I said, they did a fantastic program down at Maple Manor with it. Thank you, Soleil.
Mr. Barletta, public comment on agenda items only?
Okay, we have three, but I believe number 2 is not a agenda item. Bodnar? Where was she? That's not an agenda item, so we will have you speak at the end of the meeting.
Has to be on the agenda.
All right. Carmel?
I have a question on number 43. When was this advertised? System support inventory position, number 43?
If I may, Carmel, the position was approved at our last board meeting in April. The job description was approved, and then we posted for 5 days, I believe. We followed the union contract. I think we posted for 5 days, and then we held interviews.
Okay, and do you know what the salary is?
It follows, Carmela, the matrix within the collective bargaining unit, so it depends on educational attainment. So
Oh, okay.
I believe, I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head what it is.
Okay,
though.
thank you. All right, number 54, you have this consulting firm, and one of the items is the field house. When was that approved to construct the field house?
We never approved the field house yet, it's still in the design.
We approved the design,
We provide, yes.
to move forward with the design of it.
But it wasn't the whole
The
project?
actual project, no.
Oh, do you know when you'll be voting on that?
It
or-
is scheduled to go out for bid on the street at the end of October as of today.
Oh, the end of October?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let me find it. Numbers, for example, 96 and 97. I know the Sunshine Act, you're supposed to have it 24 hours ahead. How come a lot of times there's blank spaces? Shouldn't that be on there at the time you post the agenda online?
Yes, so, Dr. Uplinger, if I may. So, Carmela, in some instances, what happens is, we, naturally, we have requirements within our bargaining units to advertise positions for, in most of the bargaining units, it's 5 days. So in some instances, we have the posting come down, for example, like 2 days before the board meeting, and then we're actually doing interviews 1 day before the day of the board meeting. So in this, that's not necessarily the case in this particular case in terms of interviews, because in 97, the name that you're going to hear there is an inside person that bid on the position, and due to seniority reasons and the like, she will be awarded the position.
Okay, yeah, I just wondered, because sometimes there's blank spaces, but, okay, all right, thank you.
15 seconds remaining.
Okay, student rep?
Wait, one more.
Oh, one more public comment, Summer. Hold on, Charles. I know you're anxious.
Is it AVRA, Afra? Talking about the para in Bellin Elementary, that's what they signed up for.
I can allocate for Mr. Wiggins.
Okay, that's not agenda item.
After. You could speak after the meeting.
She didn't have that down.
That's okay.
Charles?
So, students from Mr. Mazurik's class at the Academy of Sciences won awards in PPL's contest to communicate innovative ideas about energy conservation through a video, poster, PowerPoint, song, poem, or essay. The grand prize was awarded to Yaneri Diaz, Kimeli Garcia, Milani Garcia, and Wilfrey Maya for a video they created. Honorable mention also went to Uriel Lopez. All the winners received Apple AirPod Pros. Army JROTC held its first annual award ceremony on May 6th. It was a tremendous event with 31 students receiving the Honor Roll Award for making honor roll this year, and 10 students receiving the Academic Excellence Award for having A's in every subject. Cadet Sergeant Yohani Tejeda received the Distinguished Graduate Awards for 2023-2024. Yohani is a senior varsity athlete, National Honor Society, and Spanish National Honor Society member. She will be on active duty with the United States Marine Corps upon graduation. 4 choir students performed at the PMEA Jazz Fest at Blue Ridge High School. Gabby Howe was selected by audition for the District Jazz Ensemble. Marianne Nazario Christian, Chiarelli Cosino Reyes, and Jolene Brodsman White sang in the Jazz Fest chorus. Spirit Club members Alexandra Espinal, Ruby Polanco, and Analucia Polanco have visited ELC students in the newcomer program weekly to work with English language learners. They have served as big sisters to many students as representatives of the Spirit Club. The Hazleton area indoor performer groups rounded out their season with all-time high scores and multiple awards. Both indoor percussion and indoor color guard won region championships. The indoor color guard went and represented us at Atlantic Coast Championships in Wildwood, New Jersey. Here they advanced past preliminary finals and competed in finals against 15 other groups. They ended in 6th place with many compliments from judges expressing their admiration for the growth of the program and the high accomplishment of making finals their first year completing at ACCs. On May 3rd, the Friend of Rachel's Club hosted our school and community's first suicide awareness and support event since 2020. The event itself generated nearly $6,200, with $2,000 in donations going to support Camp Kita, our chosen nonprofit for 2024. Our greatest success of the night, though, was being able to provide necessary and vital mental health resources to our schools and communities. Congratulations to the following students from Ms. Flowers and Mrs. Murphy's Honors Visual Arts Studios. Seniors Esmeralda Rodriguez Garcia and Alexis Belusco, juniors Finch Upperman and Yeleni Johnson, and sophomore Alexis created a very large collaborative painting that will be on permanent display at the Wilkes-Barre Strand International Airport starting May 30th after an unveiling ceremony. Juniors Karomi Rivas, Yeleni Johnson, Ava Lettner, Marlene Herrera, Yaribo Lopez, Finch Upperman, Chelsea De La Cruz, and freshman Jancy Ars Colon completed a room-sized mural in the main lounge of the Memory Care Unit at the Fritzinger Town Senior Living Community Student Center. Students that designed a detailed, bright, happy park scene to provide the residents with a beautiful form of art therapy in their main lounge. Also, congratulations to the following students for receiving awards at the very competitive Regional Fine Arts Fiesta in Wilkes-Barre. Juniors Finch Upperman, Karomi Rivas, Yaneri Diaz, and sophomore Nora Meslin all received awards for their work in photography, digital art, painting, and colored pencil. Their work, along with work from 8 other Arts Academy students, was on display at the fiesta. Both the boys and girls water polo and swim teams earned scholar team status, and the following seniors earned academic All-American: Jose Sandoval, Luke Pecora, Victor Collado, Aubrey Gowan, Jordan McCollum, Jalitza Torre, and Jayla Marie Saldana. All 4 teams have been consistently earning us since 2007. Are we all?
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. I need a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for the April 25th,
Motion.
2024.
Second.
A motion and a second.
So you got a motion by
Me.
Mrs. McBride and a second by Mr. Chapman.
Yeah.
All in favor of approving the April 25, 24 minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the treasury report
Motion.
for the April
Second.
2024 meeting. A motion by Mr. Cosmo and seconded by Mrs. McBride.
Okay. All in favor of approving the April 2024 Treasury Report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes. Excuse me.
Dr. Uplinger.
Okay, thank you. As always, there are a few items that need to be revised on the agenda, and as we get to those items, I'll tell you what the revision is. Before we move on, items number 96 and 101 are removed from the agenda. 96 and 101. And with that, I'll start on page 1, curriculum instruction, approve items 1 through 8 with one motion.
Motion.
Second.
Question.
On the question?
Two mentions that tie together items numbers 1 and 5. First off, has there been any approach to Mrs. Marino about the possibility of her committing to working for this district if we pay for part of the remainder of her education? Nobody,
Uplinger.
that's not been, Mr. Rogers, that hasn't been done or anything of that nature?
I'm sorry, Doc, could you repeat the question?
Sure. Has anybody approached Mrs. Marino about the possibility of committing to work in this district if we end up paying for part of her education?
Oh, sure. So, Dr. Patty and I, through a recruiting effort down at Bloomsburg University, have been down there trying to recruit some of the Bloomsburg teachers, especially the ones that have been doing student teaching, but we have not had the discussion regarding any types of reimbursement or anything along those lines that you're looking for.
Again, the second part of that question is, do we have any leverage with the university she attends? In other words, we're teaching student teachers. On this agenda, there's a whole lot of them from Bloomsburg, for example. Are we getting a yield on those teachers we're educating? Are we getting hires from those people who we're educating?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, because leverage comes if we're not getting very many hires,
Right.
but we're getting a whole lot of student teachers.
Absolutely.
So,
But we are seeing that, I don't have a percentage in front of me, but we are seeing a number of their student teachers be retained and hired by the district full-time.
thank you. While we're on children and youth, don't mind me, while we're on curriculum and instruction, I apologize. I need to ask Attorney Slusser to educate me here, if you would. I've been approached, as have many of you on the board, by many teachers and parents and grandparents concerned about, and the ones I've been approached from are at Heights Terrace. Obviously, there's a group here in front of us who are talking about Maple Manor. The question is this: does the board have to vote in public to affirm principal appointments or principal transfers? Like for example, we end up voting for job increases, we end up voting for teacher hires and so forth. Does that also apply to principal transfers within the district?
I think technically they can be done administratively. I think historically it's been a courtesy to the board to provide that to be voted upon, but no, they can be done administratively, Dr. Shaw.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor of approving items 1 through 8 with one vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Okay, on page 3, on number 9, before I get to that, it says ESSER art funds. Actually, it should say the special education budget rather than art ESSER funds. All right, with that, approve items 9 through 25 with one motion.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second.
Motion by Mrs. McBride, second by Mrs. DeCosmo. All in favor of approving items 9 through 25 with the revision made to number 9, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 7, under security, recommend board appoint Samuel Hyder to the position of
Motion.
campus security.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Reba, second by Mr. Zeller.
Question. With the addition of this position, we are now paying $235,000 for a position that 4 months ago was a single person at $75,000. How do we justify that?
That was what, 75,000?
In my mind, I can't justify that.
We've had a number of requests from high school staff to add some additional personnel at that level. Mr. Hyder would be doing that. He'd be helping out at the high school while also supervising the campus under the direction of Mr. Uhas and Chief Gentile.
And also Dr. Childs, Mr. Gentile was here prior to, so you would have to calculate in both ends of that.
Well, yeah, he was in the that's the $75,000.
Right, no, but I'm just saying there was 2 positions there.
Sure, thank
Okay.
you.
Dr. Uplinger?
Okay. Just waiting for did we vote?
Okay, so I have a first and a second. All in favor of approving item number 26, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
All right, under nutrition and transportation, approve items 27 to 31 with one motion.
Motion and a second.
Motion by Mr. Chapman, second by Mr. Barletta.
Is 2031 supposed to read 2324, 2425?
What?
Which one, Doc?
Number 31 is 2324.
Correct.
We have to approve them each month, Dr. Giles.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, any questions? All in favor of approving items 27 through 31 with one vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 8, approve items 32 to 36 with one motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
First by Mr. Szymanski, second by Mr. Zeller. Any questions on items 32 through 36?
Yes, number 34, no.
I agree with Mrs. DeCosmo. It's premature.
What do you mean premature?
Okay, we didn't take a vote on it yet.
They're just, I think they're commenting.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, no other questions? All in favor of approving items 32 through 36 with one vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No,
No on all?
on 34.
No on 34.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
34.
just double checking.
2 noes on 34.
No on 34, no on 34. Okay.
Okay. Under technology, approve items 37 to 43.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Chapman, second by Mrs. DeCosmo. Any questions on items 37 through 43?
Who's this Joanna?
All in favor of approving items 37 through 43 with one vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Under student activities, athletics, extracurricular, approve items 44 to 49. And I do have 2 revisions in there, so I will.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bonomo, second by Mrs. McBride.
Item 48, revised item, it should say where it says CoStar's contract pricing, it should say KPN contract pricing program, number KPN 202-001-02. KPN contract pricing program, and the number I had given. I won't repeat it for you. And item number 49, the pricing per KPN contract pricing program. Item number KPN 202-001-02. And that is the baseball, softball, outfield fence, windscreen and baseball, softball outfield fence dimension signage. And the price is $14,593.54.
Can you repeat that, 14?
Yep, $14,593.54.
Any questions on items 44 through 49?
47, can we put some kind of a limit on what may be requested?
Mr. Barletta?
Well, what kind of limit would we put on it?
Is it gonna just be shirts or?
Do you have an idea of what they've been requesting, Mr. President?
That would change from sport to sport. For instance, if it's an indoor sport, basketball, wrestling, you're talking about a polo shirt. If you're talking about an outdoor sport such as football or soccer or field hockey, where we get later in the year, you may be talking about full pant and rain gear and things of that sort. You start the season in August and September, and you may be looking at a polo shirt or a pair of shorts. So it changes from season to season.
Mr. Barletta, wouldn't that be something that between you and Mr. Krasansky would be resolved, like, yes, this is too high for this particular one, or, I mean, would you be?
I would treat it no different than when coaches put requisitions together.
Right.
It's not a Christmas list. They don't get everything they want. We take a look and analyze on whether or not it's a justifiable thing.
So, I mean, you're in this job how many years, and so is Mr. Krasansky, so we would really rely on them to handle this. That's what I would think. Because everything's gonna be different.
Yeah, to
I don't
follow
think
up
you
on
can
Mrs.
cap it.
McBride's comment, I think that, if you can provide a list for Mr. Krasansky of what would be reasonable for the
Sure.
various different sports, that would certainly make sense.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Barletta.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions on 44 through 49? All in favor of approving items 44 through 49, noting the revisions in 48 and 49, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Under Finance, approve items 50 to 70 with one motion.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, on 52, Bobby, we're basically redoing our, it sounds like we're doing our kitchens. Is this for energy savings and?
Yes, so, well, item number 52 has to do with our food service fund. We had a surplus in our fund, and obviously, we're not in the business of making a profit. So we wanted to use that excess money that we've achieved through the, if you would, the ESSER years or the COVID years, and we wanted to use it to go back and replace a lot of the much-needed equipment that's been antiquated and requiring a lot of attention with repairs. So we made a point to address it with every school. We had a person from our consulting firm go around through the ESCO project, sit with the cafeteria managers, and ask them, what items do they use, what don't they use, and what items would they like to see replaced. So we had a budget of $1 million, and we spread it out through all the schools.
And the old equipment will eventually put up for auction if anybody's,
We'll go that route first, eBay, then we'll obviously do a public auction if need be, and then lastly would be, obviously, if it's broken and cannot be repaired, it would be scrapped.
okay. Thank you.
Yes.
On number 67, I was initially skeptical about the need for these two positions. Mr. Krasansky points out to me that both of these individuals have been doing above and beyond when it comes to their job descriptions. So instead of actually giving them raises, which, again, union considerations, he suggested 2 new positions. We're actually creating 1 new position because Mrs. Zola will continue to be his secretary. We will be creating a new position on the first floor. But I will be voting for those. Thank you, Mr. Krasansky.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Childs.
I do have 2 revisions.
Okay, and then I just want to speak about
Yep.
50 then. Thank
Okay.
you.
Revised item number 58. We need to add a student's name, Abby Hengst, Hengst. I hope I said that correctly. It should be in the administration/grounds at $13 per hour. Also, item number 70. The Jim, where it says Jim Thorpe National Bank, it is on page 14, should be Ma Chunk Trust Company, MCT. Instead of Jim Thorpe, it's Ma Chunk Trust Company, MCT. Thank you, Mr. Krasansky.
Thank you. And if I can, everyone, I'd just like to explain number 50. There was an article in today's newspaper regarding the voting on the budget. And I just want to make it clear, not just to the board, but obviously to the public, that tonight's vote is on a proposed budget. As required by law, we must vote on a proposed budget procedurally in order to get to the final budget, which will be voted on June 27th. In this current budget, there is a tax increase, and at the public budget meetings that we've had, we have justified the reason for that with the additional school that will eventually be coming on. We have 3 new schools that we just opened up this past year and staffed them accordingly. There is an extra 20 million predicted to come to us from the state, but at this time, and as everyone knows who's been here for many years, we don't get that hard number until after June 30th, which is too late for us to make a final determination. So we cannot bank on that money for sure. We're hoping that that will come to fruition. And again, the increase, we have added an extra budget meeting on June 12th, and then also another one on June 13th and June 19th. We're gonna discuss the budget options that are out there, and again, for people that have been here for a while, we know that we cannot keep the tax rates the same because we have 3 counties in our school district, and due to the formula, it does not allow us to do that. So again, all 4 options are explained to you out on our budget website, along with a calculator. In the article, it said about what a $100,000 house, I believe, was used on what that increase would be with the recommended option. One thing that was left out of that article that I think everyone needs to know is there's additional money that was put towards the homestead exclusion, and that's the deduct that everybody gets on their tax bill each year. That increased $47. So an actual tax increase of possibly $30, where you're actually getting a $47 credit, your bill will net still go down for that particular home. Again, that is all on our website. Feel free to put your assessed value in that calculation. It'll show you all the different options that are out there. And again, we plan on going over them at least twice in June with the public and before the board makes a final decision. So the vote tonight is not a final decision. It's simply procedural in order to get to June. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krasansky.
Okay, I have a first and a second on this. All in favor of approving items 50 through 70 with 1 vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm gonna abstain to approve.
Okay, noted, Mr. Reba, thank you. Next.
Okay. Item 71, I need a motion to pay the bills.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Barletta and a second by Mrs. McBride. Any questions on the bills? All in favor of paying bills, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm gonna abstain on the bills as well.
Okay, noted, Mr. Reba. Okay. Superintendent's agenda.
Okay, thank you. On page 15, under the superintendent of schools, approve items 72 to 88.
Motion. Second.
First by Mrs. Chapman, and second by Mrs. Putnam. Any questions on items 72 through 88? Okay, all in favor of approving items 72 through 88 with 1 vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 16, approve items 89 to 100 with 1 motion.
Motion.
Second.
Question on number 100. Since long-term substitutes get the same salary and benefits essentially as full-time teachers, why are we hiring long-term subs instead of full employment?
We have a number of individuals that are in interventionist positions. Thank you, I couldn't think of the word. Interventionist positions that we are currently working under a grant with. So once that grant is expended, it would be the board's decision to continue with the interventionist or not. And if we are continuing with the interventionist, then we would hire those individuals permanently. But what those long-term subs are doing for us are taking their places of the interventionists in the classroom. The interventionists receive the first-year salary of a teacher plus the single benefits.
Thank you very much for the
When
explanation.
are we gonna be out of that grant money?
That's this year. It's the end of this year. In September, I believe. September 30th.
We get it renewed.
Any talk
We're
of
hoping
money
to.
coming in?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we're hoping that there'll be some additional funds that are added to it
No guarantee.
before, right, there's no guarantee with anything.
Dr. Epplinger, if I may
Yes.
also add, the ones that are, say, special education, Dr. Childs and respected members of the board, those teachers are in the position but not yet maybe certified and
Thank you.
have a degree, and they're going through the process. So we need emergency certification. the ones that are being presented tonight have done an excellent job, and that's why we plan on waiting for them to get fully certified and then be hired in in a full-time position.
Thank you, Mr. Mahal.
Bobby, how far are they from their certification? A lot of them.
Most are within a year now. They have a 2-year window as provided by PDE, and most are in their second year, some in the last part of their second year.
So they're all working on emergency certificates?
They're all working on their emergency certified.
Now, will you be able to renew those certificates?
Dr.
they don't
Gaddy does
finish
a
up?
tremendous job with that, so he renews the year after year. Yeah.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay, any other questions on it? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Jeff.
sorry, I just have a couple revisions that
Oh,
need to
yes.
be made. As I said earlier, item number 96 is removed. Item number 97, to fill in the blank, would be Christine Cation. And item number 99, where it says Master Sergeant, Sergeant is misspelled. So it should say S-E-R-G-E-A-N-T. That wasn't me. And we're excited about having Master Sergeant Hale come and join our JROTC program.
So who do we blame for spelling error?
Okay. All in
Dr.
favor of approving
Doc-
items
I-
89 through 100 with one vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Okay, on page 17, approve items 101 to 104 with one motion.
Motion.
Second.
I misspoke earlier in the meeting about eliminating the entire 101. Thank you, Mr. Mahalik. It was only item letter C. Item letter C. Everything else will stay intact, A, B, D, E, F. Thank you. Somebody has to watch.
Any questions on items 101 through 104? Okay, all in favor of approving items 101 through 104 with one vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Okay, that is all I have, Mr. President.
Any public comment? We have
Are they marked down?
Could you ask them to sign their name, Mr. Barletta, please? Thank you. Print their name. Thank you.
Sure. Oh, she's the first?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Auri Bodner. I am a bilingual paraprofessional at Maple Manor Elementary Middle School. Throughout my years at Maple Manor, I have seen many trials and tribulations of our Hispanic population. But with Mr. Williams as our principal, taking charge and being an excellent role model for our students, both teachers and paraprofessionals have noticed a decline in suspensions. Our students respect all faculty, the district property, and each other. Most believe this is due to the fatherly image portrayed by Mr. Williams to our students. He does the morning meet and greet by the metal detectors. He walks the hallways, stopping to talk to the students. He talks to them about school life, sports, and their families. He drops by the students' classes to see how the educational process is working for them. He is caring, kind, and giving. This is felt throughout the building by both faculty and students. For example, Mr. Williams rallied the entire school to wear pink when I was going to the hospital for my extensive cancer surgery. The outpouring of positive love was amazing. I have also seen Mr. Williams do the same thing with other staff members when they're going through similar situations. With all due respect, my question to you then would be, why uproot a school and students by moving a principal and what is working for them? We need one of our schools to be an anchor, a model for the others to follow. Maple Manor is a great school. We have a great faculty and staff. in one of the trainings, we were told, we as teachers and paraprofessionals can make or break our students. The same is true with our principals. Mr. Williams knows his students. He knows the staff. He knows the teachers. He knows the parents. He knows Maple Manor in its entirety. We ask you to please see our point of view and reconsider your decision. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Rachel Brimmer. I have been in the district for 19 years, and I teach music at Heights Terrace Elementary Middle School. I had sent out a letter that I had composed with the help of the other 52 teachers who signed it. And I also wanted to thank, I believe, Dr. Patty, Mr. Crispinomo, Mrs. Eileen McBride, and Dr. Childs read it. But for those of you who may not have read it, I wanted to read it for you. Heights Terrace was notified on Wednesday, April 10th, 2024, that yet again, we will be receiving a new principal. Over the past 20 years at Heights Terrace, many principals have come and gone, starting in 2005 with Dr. Frank Antonelli, then Mr. Stefanovich, Mr. Walton, Mr. Latella, Mr. Deal, Mrs. Potlesny, Mr. Latella again, and now Mr. Shatter. Is it possible to keep a principal for more than 2 or 3 years? Do Valley and Drums change their administrators this often? Heights Terrace is the largest K-8 building in the district, which makes it a difficult school to teach at as well as to be an administrator. We need consistency. Changing principals so frequently is a struggle, not only for the teachers, but also for the students and parents. Every principal has new rules, expectations, and goals, which become difficult to keep track of for teachers. Each principal tries to implement a different incentive program for good behavior, which can be very confusing for the students. Kevin Shatter has been at Heights Terrace as vice principal for 4 years and now as principal for less than 1 year. He has been very instrumental in raising funds for our new playground, and while waiting for Patrick Sharkey's arrival as vice principal, Mr. Shatter took on all responsibilities as the sole building administrator. He is respectful and fair to the students and faculty. As a Heights Terrace faculty, we would like to maintain consistency at our school and keep Mr. Shatter as our principal. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may comment for just a moment, I found it very impressive that 52 out of your 61 listed staff members signed that letter.
Thank you.
Good.
Anyone else from the audience?
Yeah, because I want to speak about Mr. Williams, Jason Williams.
Do you want to get up?
Sorry,
Okay.
guys,
You-
put
you
your
mind-
hand up.
You mind signing in, please?
She did.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
sorry.
Yes, yes. I'm talking today about Mr. Williams. He is the principal at Maple Manors, and he been the principal for 2 years with my 2 boys. And I like Mr. Williams because he's a strong person. I met him in Bali, and then they told me that they got to transfer to Maple. I was, yes, because my boys are in Bali. And that's the person that they need there. Let me tell you this story. One day I was working, and then when I came home, my son was so excited because that day I was supposed to be at Maple because it was parents and son reading day. So that day I couldn't go because I have to work at Bali. So thanks God, Mr. William went to my room, my son's room, and he read the books with him because my son was so upset that I couldn't be there. So that made me so proud that somebody was there for my son. So I see Mr. William as a human. He's kind, he's very respectful, and he's a strong man. At Maple Manor, that's what they need in there, a strong person. So I please consider it to take Mr. William in Maple Manors. Because my son is only in 4th grade. So it would be a good way for him to be there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience?
Hi, my name's Anne Marie Chismer, and I teach up at Heights Terrace. I've taught there for the last 31 years. And it seems like I was just here back in 2014 for the same reason, asking the same thing. Could we please have consistency with our principals? Up until that time, we had principals that stayed at Heights Terrace. It began in 2014, where it seems like every 2 years, our principal changes. We're lucky that, I just quickly went around and asked the teachers. At Heights, we have over 9 teachers that have been there for 25 years or more. We have 10 teachers who have been there for 20 years. And we have over 12 teachers who have been there for 10 years. That consistency helps our students. It helps our parents. With changes of principals every 2 years, it's really hard. As you all know, the first year of any job, you're learning. The second year, you're adjusting. And then we start over. We're learning with the new principal. Second year, we're adjusting, and then they leave. Next year will be my 40th year teaching, and, you know, learning, adjusting, it's difficult. We really would like to have consistency. Our parents need consistency. Our students need consistency. Our teachers need the consistencies. A lot of new things coming down in education, and we need principals to help us and guide us. Please help us keep consistency within our buildings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Betsy Joseph. I'm also here to support Mr. Shatter, and I humbly ask you to please consider not moving him along with the other principals right now. There's a lot going on in the district with the grade configurations not yet decided, and although it's not an educational issue, Mr. Shatter has worked so hard in getting a playground for Heights Terrace. The ball is finally in motion, and the construction is about to begin. And he should be there to see what's going on and to make sure that it's done the way it's planned and to see its completion. He single-handedly started this year as acting principal and vice principal until Mr. Sharkey came. He has made many educational and behavioral changes, and things are working well, and it's noticed. Not to mention, he has earned the respect of the students. I was up there last week on Friday, and I was just watching his interaction with the kids, and I mean, that's something that should go on in the schools. Every time a principal changes, the year is lost. I've seen it over the years. Adjusting, and Heights has had so many principals over the last few years. So again, I humbly ask to please reconsider your decision and not move the principals right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience? Any board members have anything to add?
Hold on.
Yeah, don't run. We got you.
Okay. First, I'd like to say, Soulette Lang, you came to our school, what an inspiration. Those kids were more excited about seeing her than if there was a rock star there. You did a poetry program, and I was amazed because they all wanted to get their picture with her. She did a little spiel about the arts and humanities. Mr. Hearn came, Mrs. Cosmo was there. Great program, but it's all because of you. Secondly, I'd like to talk about Mr. Williams a little bit also. I've been teaching, I don't even know if it's 17 or 18. I gave up, okay? I can tell you that Mr. Williams is a leader. He's my friend, but he's my principal. Me and Mrs. Bramble do intervention in our building. We've had more programs this year, more parent involvement than ever before. programs go by the wayside. Today we had a parent meeting. The parents were in there, I mean visibly upset, thanking him. One lady came out to say that her son, between Mr. Flame and Mr. Williams, how he helped, because she was at a loss how to handle with her son, okay? I'm asking you to reconsider, okay? He does a terrific job. I was raised that if it's not broke, don't fix it, okay? I don't even understand the thinking or the logic, okay? I'm asking you, as not only a teacher, as a taxpayer, whose parents and grandparents pay taxes here, leave them alone. Give the principals a chance, okay? Mr. Williams does an outstanding job. When I see him in the morning by the metal detectors, greeting children, a lot of our Spanish kids, they look forward to that. Being a male, I know that I have Spanish kids that come, they just want 5 minutes of my time. He gives them that. He gives them reassurance, he makes them feel safe, and the educational process in Maple Manor works. I'm just gonna close by saying, I just wish we do so many good things in Hazelton. So many. I'm disappointed in the newspaper because they're not interested in the good things, you're only interested in the bad things.
Yes.
But I think it'd be a step in the right direction to reconsider this. He's a great principal. Leave him where he is. Thank you.
Ronnie, one question. Okay. You're an interventionist.
Yes, I'm an
Correct,
interventionist,
okay.
yes.
I mean, and Dr. Childs had mentioned it. It is not a grant. It's not a grant that you're funded by. You're in Title I.
Right, we're in Title I. Our salary gets paid through the federal government.
Federal grant. It's not a grant, though.
And if you ever like Doc, stop over. I've known you since, oh my God, my kids were born. Stop over, you will see our binders. This is the cosmo season. I'm sure Dr. Upler saw the amount of work that we do, but it's all about parent engagement, parent involvement. So, yes.
Yeah, it is, but it isn't, yeah. It's a,
There's a difference
Yeah.
between targeted and.
right, yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Tenko. Thank you.
Sorry, I need some assistance.
Is there anyone else? Anyone from the board?
Wait.
So I have another couple of questions. The budget. Now, when I was at the budget meeting, you had the fund balance, and the committed part of it was $20,595,000. Is that for the field house?
A good portion of that is for the field house, and also, Mr. Lamanna, help me out here, the remaining part of the phase 3 of the baseball. Or, I mean, we have to renovate our tennis courts because they're all cracked, so I think the remaining portion of that 20 million would be for that.
Well then, if you're saying you weren't approving this field house till October, why are we hiring a supervisor of facilities and all these other?
It doesn't say field house.
It says
It says
sports
field.
facilities.
Sports facilities. Do you know how many sports facilities we have?
But is part of that going to be eventually this field
I would say
house whenever?
eventually.
For 50,000?
Am I wrong, or
No,
is
it
that?
could potentially turn into that,
Potentially,
but
but right
that's
now
not,
it's
that's
for
not
sports
the initial need
facilities.
for it.
Okay,
no.
that's what I thought.
At the budget meeting, you said there were going to be 75 new positions. Are they the only ones that you're going to have in the budget, or is there any others that are in some other part of the budget that we didn't see?
So the public budget meeting on June 13th, which will be prior to the committee meetings and also prior to the community workshop, that is going to be a good portion of what that meeting's about, along with all the expenses in general. So I'll have all of the new positions identified, which
okay.
we did look at back in, I think that was early March.
Yeah.
But I will give you an updated list of, because some additional requests have come in the meantime.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
For the last time. Yes, we do.
My name's Janet Krinchak. I only found out about this meeting this morning, so my speech kind of got thrown together really quick, so it's not going to be too much. It's going to be short and sweet. And I also know Mr. Williams, and I think he's a wonderful man. If he's happy where he is, don't uproot the tree, let it grow. But, so just want to reiterate here, I've been coming to the school board meetings now, it's 3 years. And I've been kind of like a watchdog over all the indoctrinating ideologies that our children are faced with. And I'm trying my best to protect the children from harmful effects of these ideologies. I don't know how many of you on the school board or in the audience believe in any of my views, and I'm not looking for any recognition. I'm only hoping that what I say every month is in some way reaching you and making you watch and think about these issues and speak up if you find out that any of it is coming up with your children, your grandchildren, or the students. And do some research on DEI, critical race theory, gender affirming care, any age and appropriate books, and just look lightly. You don't even have to go deep. You could see how damaging these are to the children. And I guess I keep coming and speaking out because I don't want to lose my First Amendment rights for free speech, freedom of religion, and my entitlement to the inalienable rights given to me by God, all in accordance with our great U.S. Constitution. And that's probably the reason why he's put up with me every month. But I do value these freedoms, and so should all of you, and I will continue to come back every month, voice my opinions, hoping that I'm getting through to some people. I worry for the future of our children, and we all need to be constantly vigilant to ensure a great future for them. Thank you. Happy
Thank you.
Thank
holidays.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Dr. Childs?
First off, I'd like to thank everybody who came this evening, the students, teachers, grandparents, parents. I wish we had this kind of a turnout at every meeting. And I'd like to thank especially those who came to the microphone and spoke their piece this evening. That's what this board is all about. It's about listening to what parents have to say and what teachers have to say and what students have to say. Last month we had a healthy discussion of some of the unique problems that face the educators in the Hazelton Area School District. I'm an individual who likes solutions, not excuses. So asking my fellow board members this evening, and certainly the staff as well as people from within the district, to focus on what I consider to be the most important problem. And this is something that Mr. Szymanski brought up last month. That is the lack of involvement of Latino parents in their children's education. Now, that's not universal, but it's a major problem within this district. And the question is, how do we solve that problem? How do we manage to get the parents involved in their children's education? Dr. Zakonsky has done a very good job, as the people from Maple Manor just pointed out. She's done a great job of providing special events that have attracted a lot of parents to events within this district. She did the same thing when she was at Freeland. But at the end of each event, she finds herself unable to introduce the Spanish-speaking parents of a Latino student to a classroom staffer who speaks their language and understands their culture. And that's because we have so few of such employees in the Hazelton Area School District. So the question is, where should we look for more bilingual educators for our classrooms, and what incentives do we need to offer in order to recruit them successfully? And I turn to Dr. Upplinger. The board monitors what happens in this district. The administration provides us answers. So, any thoughts you might have?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. They, number one, and I think we've talked about this a few times prior, they're not there. They don't apply. They don't take the coursework. Or, on another flip of the coin, if you will, PDE doesn't have reciprocity. So if we have educators, which we would gladly take from the Dominican or from Puerto Rico or Colombia, wherever, that they're educators there, Pennsylvania won't accept them until they take all the coursework to become an educator in Pennsylvania. I think it's ludicrous. I think it's ridiculous that that is occurring. I've talked to ad nauseum with Senator Argo and Representative Watro about helping support that change in allowing that to happen. Maybe there is less coursework that they need to take. They're already educators, so there's less things that they have to do. Maybe it's student teaching or what have you in our district, just to be assimilated to what we do. We've reached we've thrown out our net even larger since when I got here in 2017, thrown out our net larger to try to find those people that are bilingual, to bring them here. We're just not finding them, and we're not the only district that is in that situation. There are other districts that are finding themselves unable to find educators that are bilingual, which is a shame. And like I said, there's a lot of different factors that we are not in control of to remedy the situation. We can't knock down those walls that PDE puts up in our way that would allow those people, those people to come and work for us. The only thing we can do at this point with PDE and with our legislators is advocate for those changes to happen at PDE's level, at the state level, allow the reciprocity, allow them to come in as educators, because they're already educators in other countries. That's one remedy that would certainly work, especially for us. We definitely, as you saw on the agenda, we have a number of staff members, we have a number of employees that are long-term subs that are working on their certification. Maybe there's some way that they become bilingual, that they take extra courses in Spanish or what have you, that would allow them to fill that gap that we're seeing. There's hundreds of different things that could be done. There's a lot that we are not in control of, and that's the sad part of it, that we're not in control of that. What we see a lot of times too is once students graduate from here, they don't, and our Hispanic students that graduate from here don't necessarily want to stick around. They want to leave. They want to go somewhere else. What are we doing wrong when you guys graduate, where are you going to go? Leave? Or you're going to stay? I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm just asking. Celeste, what do you think you're doing? Leaving? See, what would we do differently to keep you? Or what could we do? Let me ask you, because you're close to the end of your career here. What are you planning on doing when you grow up? I haven't figured out what I'm doing yet when I grow up. Oh, great. But you're leaving.
Yeah.
So what would keep you here?
Honestly, I don't even think, it's just a personal thing. I just
Sure.
lived here my whole life.
Sure. Change of scenery.
Yeah.
Change of scenery. And we can't change that. That's what she wants to do. So we run into that a lot of times too. So, and guys, I apologize putting you on the spot too. You didn't recite for us, so I thought this was another way to get you to talk. But yeah, there's different ways and different things that we could do, that we're trying to do, and it's just
Can we provide educational incentives? In other words, we pay for the education, they stay here for a couple of years?
that's a possibility. That would be a discussion with the 9 of you and how we could make that fit into the budget. Right now, it's not a part of the contract. There is some reimbursement for credits, but not all.
Thank you.
Sure.
Is there anyone else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion and a second.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, students.
Good, I had a good time. Thank you. I appreciate it.